All right, well, it looks like our number has plateaued a little bit, so let's just jump right in. We shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. So, we are just going to talk to you about our diabetes prevention program today. Welcome everybody. This is considered our session 0 for our National Diabetes Prevention Program. So this session, what we're going to do today is go over the details of this program. We call it DPP, meaning Diabetes Prevention Program. It makes it a little bit easier. We're going to talk about what you have to do to qualify for the program and then answer any questions you may have about this. But before we dive into all of that, let us introduce ourselves. So, my name is Sadie May, and I have been with Healthy Lifestyles for over 3 years now. I am one of the coordinators along with Brittany here, and we oversee all of the employee wellness programs, activities, functions. We help coordinate all of that. And one of my very favorites has to be this DPP program. And Brittany, I'll turn it on over to you to introduce yourself.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany. I've recently joined the Healthy Lifestyles team to work alongside Sadie. I recently also became a certified lifestyle coach to be able to offer this to our participants. So I'm really excited. I'll be learning as you guys learn as well. It's going to be a great program this year.
Thank you. And we want to hear from the rest of you. So if you want to take yourself off mute or put it in the chat box, we want to hear your highest point in this last year. And Brittany, does anything come to your mind when we ask what is the highest point of this last year for you?
Oh gosh, just in general?
Just in general, anything.
Um, Highest point. I've moved jobs quite a bit within the county. So I worked in community health and offered the um, asthma home visiting training program. And I applied for this job and I got it earlier this year. That was at the beginning. So definitely a high point for me.
Ooh, I love it. And it looks like we have a couple in the chat box. Birth of my first grandson. In general, my son called to Singapore on a mission. Availability of the vaccine. Great one, Leon. I think mine is going to happen on Friday, everybody. I'm getting married.
Woohoo!
Tying that knot, everybody. I'm gonna be spoken for.
It's awesome.
Yeah, please keep sharing those. We want to get to know a little bit about you. We see your names constantly when you're participating in our workshops, but we want to hear about everything that's going on with you. And just one moment, I'm putting my computer on mute. When those emails start coming through, they can get very loud. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes they just all come at once. It's really weird.
Mm, definitely.
Anywho, all right, I'm going to be looking for those in the chat box. Thank you for those who shared. So as we move on, do you want to go to the next slide for me, Brittany?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, it's lagged. Okay, there we go.
No prob. All right, so our objectives today is to illustrate the impact of prediabetes and the National Diabetes Prevention Program, describe program requirements, and then our approach to the curriculum. So you can go to the next one. And DPP is actually a CDC recognized program to help individuals who have prediabetes or are at higher risk for type 2 diabetes to help them develop healthy habits that will last a lifetime. This program is a year long. It is a commitment, but that is essential to help participants stick to new habits and break through barriers as they arise, maybe when the holidays come up, when your schedules change, season changes. Our health tends to fluctuate throughout the year. Maybe it's based on your work schedules being super busy during one time of the year. So we have this class to help brainstorm and break through those barriers that are happening to you throughout an entire year. All right. And so DPP, we work as a group. We are going to have 15 individuals in this class. And along with the journey, we love when you exchange stories, obstacles. We share with each other new things that we have tried that have worked for us, all in the goal to improve our overall health and wellness. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what prediabetes is. It is a condition where your blood sugar is higher than normal, but it's not high enough to be diagnosed as type 2 diabetes. But with prediabetes, damage is being done to the body. And without intervention, you would typically develop type 2 diabetes within the next 10 years. So it's one of those things that it is inevitable with prediabetes that it could develop to type 2 diabetes without intervention. But if we incorporate coping skills and physical activity, nutrition, we can reverse before it hits that type 2 diabetes. Because once it gets to type 2, it's non-reversible. You can get your blood sugar to a normal level, but you still have type 2 diabetes and the damage is done to the pancreas. But in this stage, there still is time. We can reverse it. It is a very common condition, prediabetes. It's 1 in 3 Americans, with 88 million people in the United States having it. And the scary statistic along with that is more than 8 in 10 adults with prediabetes have no idea that they actually have it. And some ways that you can learn if you have prediabetes is getting your blood sugar tested. And there's 3 different tests that they use. There's an A1C, and a lot of doctors do this when you go to your physical. They test your blood sugar in one way or the other, whether it's an A1C, fasting plasma glucose test, which is what we do at our biometric screenings with Healthy Lifestyles. Then there's also a glucose tolerance test where you go to the doctor, you drink it's I hear it's a very, very nasty drink, but it's just a tiny little drink that is purely glucose, and then you'll drink that, wait about 15 to 30 minutes, and then the doctor evaluates your blood sugar to see how well you metabolize that. All right, we can go to the next slide. So again, to reiterate these program goals, the overall goal is to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, but we also want to help participants create sustainable lifestyle changes for your overall health. So not just your physical health, but mental, social, intellectual, financial, anything we can do to help, because wellness is holistic, and that's what we teach at Healthy Lifestyles. We are not just focused on one area. Then the CDC actually has goals for this program for participants as well, and that's to increase physical activity to 150 minutes of moderate movement per week. And in the class, we talk about what is moderate movement and how to track it. And then the CDC also recommends participants losing 5 to 7% of their starting weight of the class, which 5 to 7% sounds like a lot, but it can be anywhere just depending on your weight, but typically it's anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds. That's not our main focus. We want to focus on your blood sugar levels and those sustainable lifestyle changes, but the CDC has us track different data along the way. Any other questions before we move into Brittany talking about eligibility?
Okay. Well, if you guys do have any questions moving forward, please feel free to put those in the chat box. We also have time at the end that we will put aside to have some questions answered as well. So, just like Sadie said, program eligibility, there are a few things that you need to qualify for to be able to be a part of this program. And you guys can see them on this slide as well. But a couple of things is being 18 years or older, and being overweight, as well as not being diagnosed with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. That one can be a little bit confusing because this is a diabetes prevention program, but the key word is prevention. So we want to catch that before you're diagnosed with type 1 or type 2. And then not currently pregnant. So if you are currently pregnant, this program isn't necessarily recommended for that. And then one of the following, you need to meet one of these. So you'll need to be diagnosed with prediabetes or previously diagnosed with gestational diabetes, or the last one is high risk results on the prediabetes risk test. And Sadie, if you could put that in the chat box, there is this prediabetes risk test on the CDC's website. And if you guys already completed the intake form that has been sent out in the weekly lineups and things like that, those questions were already on there. But if you're joining us for the first time, feel free to click on this and have it open so when the session ends, then you can take that and get some more information about yourself. So regarding the high risk result test, so if you score on that, there are certain questions, and Sadie just posted that, so that's perfect. Thank you. Is if you get a 4 out of 10 on the test, that is considered low risk. So anything above that will be on the high risk end. So perfect. We'll just move right along. Okay, so regarding this program, everything will be virtual this year due to accessibility and COVID and everyone working from home or various locations, as we just want to offer that to everyone to access that virtually. So there are a few things to note is with our program structure, the classes are spaced out in certain ways. So for the first 5 sessions, it's held once a week for 5 weeks. And then after that, we move forward for sessions 6 through 26, and that's held every other week for 10 months. And so the way that we break this down is just so that we're able to meet with everyone. Everyone's able to get to know each other for once a week for those 5 weeks. And then we'll go and move to every other week. And what's really cool about this program is, like Sadie had mentioned, that this is a lifestyle change program that's driven by your choices. So the choices that you make, this program is here to help support those lifestyle changes. This isn't a temporary change. You've got this condition with prediabetes, and we're working towards that overarching goal of being able to reverse those effects. And of course, just again, as what Sadie had mentioned, is this is a cohort. You get to move together as a group and with people that have the same goal in mind, which is awesome, is that you guys and we are all able to learn and grow at the same time. And then the goal is, the CDC goal is, and this isn't just the only goal for the program, is by the end is to reduce, to have a 5 to 7% reduction in body weight. So for example, that sounds like a lot. So if you wanted to, on your end of things, what 5 to 7% looks like is, for quick math, if you take your body weight times by 0.05 for 5% and then 0.07 for 7%. And that is just, you're able to look at that and break it down. 5 to 7% sounds daunting. So for your own personal perspective. And then the last thing is a really awesome statistic. So with this statistic, upon program completion, is that in result of this program, more than half, so 58%, of the individuals that participate in this program receive reduction in the onset of diabetes, which is awesome.
And some other qualitative data from the last time we did this, it was actually in 2019. when we had this full class, we had individuals who joined that they had been an avid tennis player, and their goal of this program was, I want to be able to play tennis at least once a week without getting winded. And this individual actually was able to do it every single day. We had individuals that did little to no activity, and they ended up jogging in a 5K. So though there are goals that the CDC has for this program, we want you to create your own individual goals as well and reach those. And those seem to be the most impactful and also have you more motivated to be in this program because you have something that's personal to you, whether it's you want to be able to get down on the ground and play with grandkids, or it's I don't want food to be, I don't want to be controlled by food. I want to be able to make healthy choices and not have to constantly be thinking about, is this healthy for me? Is this not? Or feeling guilty. Whatever it possibly could be, we want to help you get there.
Definitely. And what Sadie said is those are the meaningful changes that, going into this program, you want to create those so that at the end you're being able to compare and say, wow, like I have achieved so much, not only in this one aspect, but this other as well. And I agree. It's awesome, awesome, awesome to be able to hear about all of the wonderful things that people are able to accomplish as a group and as individuals. And this program brings that out, and it's awesome to be a part of it. Just some information about Healthy Lifestyles points is each quarter you're awarded a specific amount of points. So as you guys can see, it breaks it down into the first 2 quarters is 100 points, and then the second 2 quarters is 150 points for Healthy Lifestyles. So in total, 500 points are possible. It's just an added benefit on top of what you're already being able to learn and achieve in the program, but who doesn't love a good Healthy Lifestyles points as well?
Oh, yeah. And we broke it up by quarters just so if you have your clinic date is, say, in March, you get credit for all that work you've done. I mean, you've been in the program already half a year. You want to get credit for DPP to go towards your rebate. So that's the reason we broke it up like that.
Definitely. And then just some more information on being able to achieve um, completion of the program. You'll need to attend 22 out of the 26 classes that is offered each quarter. And don't worry, sometimes, life happens or you're not able to make a class. Sadie and I will provide makeup sessions for those classes missed. Just like in everything though, communication is key. So if you are going to be able to if you are going to miss something or if you have something else planned, just communicate with us. We're more than happy to be flexible with you. As we understand, life happens and life gets busy and things like that. So we want to be able to work with you as much as possible. Alrighty. Okay, so on my screen, you guys can see the class schedule breakdown. So something to highlight is session 1 starts October 4th, and our program runs for a 1-year span. So session 26 will end August 22nd. So these classes, like we had mentioned, is meet every week for the first 5 sessions. And then meeting every other week for the rest of the sessions. Classes will be held on Mondays from 11 to noon. We took a poll and that was the best time for everyone that participated in that on average. So that is when that is scheduled. So if you do have any conflicts, again, please feel free to reach out to us and talk to us about that.
And I
Perfect.
listed possible reschedules for December 27th and then May 30th because they are on a holiday week. So we can figure that out as a class, what we want to do. If we want to double up workshops on a different day or just reschedule to a better time. So we're not going to make you come 2 days after Christmas or on Memorial Day.
Definitely. Again, like I said, communication is key not only for you guys to us, but us to you as well. So we'll figure that out as a group. Awesome. Okay, so I love this slide. I love the opportunity to be able to talk about this. So with Healthy Lifestyles, as many of you know, and just to reiterate, is we focus on a couple of different things. So first of all, HAES means health at every size. Um, Health and wellness is so unique to each individual that health can be found at every size, and we preach and teach that and believe that to the fullest. Um, and to back that up is we focus on dimensions of wellness. So not only do we focus, on those basics that people think about when we talk about wellness is nutrition and physical activity, but there's so much more to wellness than just those two, right? So with this program and teaching this and practicing it, there's so much more that goes into achieving our goals, as I'm sure you guys have experienced, such as emotional wellness and occupational wellness, intellectual, environmental, social, financial, spiritual, physical. All of these things coincide together, and to be able to make those meaningful changes and to be able to reach those goals, acknowledging that there's more to your wellness than just the two categories that everyone thinks of. So if you are a part of our program, we definitely will be incorporating all of these things as we do so in all of our programming, because we believe that that's how you are able to achieve wellness as a whole. So not only do Sadie and I help facilitate, but we also support you guys. We join in this journey with you guys in being able to be together as a cohort. Um, there's power in numbers, as I'm sure you've heard, but also we're able to support each other in our different wellness journeys. And again, everyone's wellness journeys look different as we experience health and wellness differently than one person. So as you'll see moving forward in the program, something may work for this one individual, but it may not necessarily work for you. So it's all about being able to figure that out. And you're able to, with the support from others. And then behavior focused. So we're talking about behavior change, right? We're wanting to make a lasting, meaningful goal in your lifestyle, and making a lifestyle change is big. So being able to focus on those different behaviors and diving into why maybe you do one thing but not the other, or understanding yourself on a deeper level. Um, Sadie, before I move forward, do you have anything you'd like to add to this one?
Yes, I love the behavior focus because although the CDC does have us record physical activity minutes that you're getting and also record your weight, we are not worried about those numbers. We are concerned more with the behaviors that Brittany is talking about. As a number is not going to determine your success in this program, it's going to be those lifestyle changes and the dimension of wellness. So thank you for going over all of that.
Definitely. And again, just to reiterate, everyone's wellness journeys are different, and everyone just wants to have that one goal of being able to live your best life, and achievement of that looks different for everyone. And we dive into that into this program. Um, Perfect. Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of insight onto what is talked about in this program, you can see on the screen. So like we had mentioned is the CDC's goals are to be able to reduce uh, prediabetes, and there's so many different ways that you're able to do that, and this is incorporating so many different topics, so things that maybe you not necessarily think about. So I mean, coming to mind, it's tracking activity and tracking food and things like that. But did you think about like managing stress and coping with triggers and heart health, and taking charge of your thoughts? All of those things play into being able to prevent type 1, type 2 diabetes. So, um, yeah. Sadie, anything to add?
Yes. So when we did this class, in 2019, we like to keep it very engaging and fun for participants. So we did a couple of different things, and based on what the class wants, we can do them. So one of them was taking a tour of Harmon's with their dietitians, and they would go through all the different sections and talk about healthy eating, how to read a nutrition label, how to cook healthy on a budget. That was one of the activities that we had done. We've brought in fitness instructors to these classes, which we could have them do virtually, just to teach different ways to increase flexibility, muscle strength while you're at home, how to get physical activity in on breaks, and teach you how to do those movements properly. We have games that have prizes along with all of this, and then sometimes we just sit down as a group and we talk about what obstacles did you face last week? Let's talk them out. Let's make plans for them. And we create an action plan together as a team. You can help out. If you're having great success, you can help out one of your classmates and vice versa. And so we become very close after a year. And it's really fun to celebrate these different achievements for people, especially when you know the different struggles that they're facing. But we would love to, I mean, we can provide ideas in our first class, and we can also have you guys provide ideas of things you also want to learn on top of these modules that the CDC has us teach you.
Definitely. And it's so much more than being able to just get information. It's more like what Sadie was saying is we do activities and involve others and, bring in those different dimensions of wellness through different activities. So it's so much more than just joining a WebEx and sitting there being lectured, as we've experienced over this last year with everything turning virtual. So there's so much more. And again, feedback from you guys and being able to let us know of what you're interested in learning more about. We are more than happy to incorporate that, just as what Sadie was saying. Awesome. Okay, you guys, so let's open this up to everyone. Do you guys have questions, concerns, what we've talked about? What can we talk more about to you guys today?
We had somebody put in the chat box to repeat the dates and times of the class. So, Brittany, if you don't mind going back to that slide,
Definitely.
it will begin October 4th, will be session 1 on Monday, and it will be from 11 a.m. to noon will be the classes. That first 5 weeks is back to back, and then we move into every other week after that.
And can you see my screen just to make sure?
Yeah, I can see it. And I'll also put in
Perfect.
the chat box if you haven't already registered for the class, you just joined us for the workshop, but you're interested, in the chat box, you will find a link to the survey to register for this class. And we mentioned before that we will be taking 15 individuals, and so it is first come, first serve, and it's also based on your eligibility for the class. If we have anybody on the waiting list, we are actually having our health educators being trained in this particular program in October, so we could start up another cohort at the beginning of the year.
Definitely. Awesome.
Questions? I'm not seeing any in the chat box. Feel free to take yourself off mute if that's easier for you.
If you guys can't think of anything right now, and in the meantime, if you do think of something, please feel free to email Sadie or myself, or you can just email the myhealthylifestyles@slco.org your questions, and we'll be able to answer those there as well. So, a lot of information today. So, as you digest any questions or concerns that come up, please feel free to reach out.
All right, easy enough. We'll let you go. Enjoy this Tuesday.
Thank you guys.